message for the ladies and gentlemen around the world and all the ships at sea.
We all make choices, but in the end, our choices make us.
So choose wisely. Subscribe to It's Erik Nagel wherever shows are found, on whatever platform you choose. And as always, leave us a positive review. Would you kindly?
Man lost his hat.
Ahoy hoy.
You lost your hat? Free hat.
Free hat.
Free hat.
But it comes with a new hat.
Ooh, new hat. Free hat.
Gimme.
Come on, chameleon.
Ugh, karma chameleon, not come a chameleon. That's fucking weird.
Everybody's into something.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
What up, my Nagel? 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 Talking about George R.R. Martin, not writing. Talking Marvel versus DC, who's more exciting? Talking George Lucas's legacy, high-scoring centipede. Talking Gittles' new beef burrito recipe. Talking about Stephanie McMahon versus Sable. Talking about the Cybermen versus the Weeping Angels. Don't blink, the dialect's more deadly than you think. Talking Summer Ale, Blueberry Pale, craft beer, pouring drinks. What up, my Nagel? Deadpool 2 features Cable. Talking Funko Pop, celebrity signed a label. Talking online gaming, bitchin' and complaining. Talking E-Rock, kissing the feet of Matt Groening. Warner Brothers properties, Superman's a mockery. Weird Al concerts, Kevin Smith's debauchery. Rick and Morty fun zone. The Lego build team, can I have your attention? Possible Donkey Kong kill screen. What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel? What up, my Nagel?
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear.
It's Erik Nagel.
Hello and welcome to another edition of It's Erik Nagel. That is me. Over in the upside down is Gittles.
Hey, what up?
And over in the right side up is Trevor.
Hello, Miss Lady.
Phone lines are open, 651-SMITHERS. That's 651-764-8437. Across the board on social media, It's Erik Nagel. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I think that covers all the bases for what we put out there. The dreck that we put out into the world is all located on those properties. We are in the Northeast, is where we do our show, in the New York City area, and we are in the middle of the sequel to The Day After Tomorrow.
Yes, it's called Tomorrow.
Yes, it's it's tomorrow, but question mark, as if it's will it happen?
Yes.
For the majority of the country, this weird little turn of events, this Arctic blast came down from the Arctic.
Polar vortex.
Across, I don't even know if it's a vortex because it's not spinning. It's just the jet stream dipping down and letting all the cold air come all the way down.
Yeah, it's a vortex.
It's all the way across Canada. Like the whole center of the country, especially the north center part of the country, is a frozen tundra. It's a wasteland.
Yeah.
When you have people in Chicago being issued not only just national weather alerts, but stating the fact that it will be for this week colder in Chicago than it will be in Antarctica, then that's a problem. When you're hitting negative 20 on your regular temperature, but you're going to hit negative 50, 60 with the wind chill.
Yeah, and it's the windy city. Like there's guaranteed wind.
Guaranteed wind. Now it's a death wind.
Oh, I was watching a video online of I think it was Lake Michigan, and it was like negative 23 degrees, and the lake was just steaming because the lake was like 35 degrees. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like that heat difference was making steam, which is just kind of crazy.
Well, you got to see the latest photos, at least for the today on the day that we're recording this, that they show somehow they went all the way out into the water on that lake that's right there at Chicago. I think that's Michigan, right?
Sure.
All right, let's go with that. They're out at least maybe half a mile, maybe a mile off the coastline, and they did a wide-angle photo showing the land of Illinois, Chicago City shoreline right there, and just chunks of frozen water leading into the city.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It is. So this is really The Day After Tomorrow, and if you don't know what this is for people like Trevor or younger, it was a movie that came out, was it the Was it a 90s or is it a 2000s movie?
I believe it was either like the end of the 90s or it was like the very beginning of the 2000s. I think it was I think it was the end of the 90s, but I could be wrong because it was like right after Armageddon and all those movies.
2004.
2004. Okay.
There
you
go.
watched the movie.
Exactly.
What it is, it's about global warming screwing up the climate on the entire planet, and the whole North American continent pretty much becomes the new Antarctica. Which, if you know anything about geography in the world and how it was built, there's apparently how it was built by God. Under all that ice is supposed to be, like Antarctica is its own continent, supposed to be frozen plant life, maybe animal remains, all these things that we may never...
Aliens.
Could be aliens. If you follow Stargate SG-1, that's where there's a fortress down there that shoots this stuff out and kills aliens, which I really hope is true. Because the polar caps are melting, it could be a reality within 5 years. Anyway, so what happened is that the whole North American continent pretty much was covered in ice, and not just ice, like enough ice that it was pretty much the new modern ice age, where most of the buildings in New York City were encaptured and under this ice. Yeah. That's how bad things got. And like living in South Florida was now the new temperate zone. You know, you may get a summer, you may get a winter, but it's never going to be either one. And the equator was dropped like really far down into Australia or something like that. It was really messed up.
It was a true story.
It was, especially by the fact where they survived the storm by hiding in a Wendy's freezer, which is ironic.
They outrun the air at one point. They're like, "Oh no, the air is coming!" Like they see the air coming. Like,
right.
It's so stupid.
And things around them, people around them, are starting to freeze and
frozen.
And they outrun it and they hide in a freezer in Wendy's. Which is ironic because Wendy's says they're fresh, never frozen. So why do they have a freezer? You idiots. Every time I put that comment
Did you put that on IMDb under goofs? You should put that on IMDb under movie goofs.
No, everyone's a fucking idiot because I was showing this map from NBC News that showed the big dip, and it said like 85% of the country is going to be at freezing or below. And that's like unheard of, you know? Yeah. And when I made the comparison to The Day After Tomorrow and the Wendy's freezer thing, because that's not really a standout point from that movie, if that movie is a standout point at all. But I always just found it funny.
The movie is a national pastime. Like, it's one of the best movies ever made.
I agree with you, and I know you enjoy it, but I'm sure to a lot of people, it's just a garbage movie either they never heard of or never bothered to see.
Well, they're just idiots.
Yeah, they are.
It's up there with Hurricane Heist and The Meg and like all those kinds of movies.
This was what gave birth to all of those.
Well, I feel like Armageddon gave birth to all those.
Armageddon was just a survival movie, a global survival movie. That was just trying to launch a nuclear warhead to bad Aerosmith music and destroy an asteroid before it hits the planet. Hey,
I didn't want to miss a thing.
Well, you've missed a lot of things because you don't watch TV enough. So
I totally like ricked that up there. I like burped while trying to sing.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So back to the Wendy's thing. So they're like, oh, how does Wendy's have a freezer if they're fresh, never frozen? Yeah, they're fresh, but they got to keep it somewhere. When it's not frozen when it arrives. It's not frozen when they cook it. It's got to be stored in some kind of cool climate or else it spoils.
Places have refrigerators.
Yeah,
it might
exactly.
Just say freezer on it, but it's still a fridge.
So that was one of my favorite scenes because it was just weird to see them. They survived this apocalyptic frozen hurricane, this frozen death hurricane that was coming by being in a freezer at a Wendy's. And then when they're trying to get to New York City and they think they're just, crossing some kind of field, and it turns out they were walking on top of a mall and then they broke through the glass and then fell
into the mall.
Like 3 stories through the mall. The movie's so ridiculously fun.
And then the wolves come, and there's like wolves chasing him because somehow the wolves survived the cold. But like,
and they're all wearing LL Bean because they looted the mall.
Fucking wolves. Should call them vultures.
Trevor, you have not seen this movie? I take it.
I have not.
You have to go see that.
Yeah, see it. Don't see it today. See it like tomorrow, preferably the day after.
I'm writing it down.
Question mark? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
That could be the title.
I remember I saw that movie in theaters, and I forgot who I saw it with, but I was like, I turned to my friend and I said, "Yo, if the woolly mammoth comes to life in the Smithsonian Museum while they're there, I'm out of here." Like, but it didn't happen.
Oh my God! Day after
I was secretly hoping it was going to be like, oh no, they just came to life, because it was like they kept focusing on it for like some reason. I mean, obviously because of the Ice Age, but I was like, maybe they're going to come back to life. That would be amazing. It did not happen.
Maybe. All right. So it's a crossover between The Day After Tomorrow and One Night at the Museum.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh no, Robin Williams and Ben Stiller are here. Ice Age mammoths. The whale,
Yeah.
the big whale from the New York Aquarium falls off the ceiling and it's just flopping around the city.
Well, yeah, no, what happens is they go to the museum while this Ice Age hits. So now they're all just like kind of frozen, like trying to do their nighttime shit.
And fondling the fixtures. I know what those creeps do at night at the museum.
Ugh, creeps.
They are creeps.
Fondling.
People who work at night shifts in museums, they're fondling the artwork and the statuettes.
You think so?
I think so.
You think so? You think they like run up and they like touch the T-Rex when no one's looking?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
They're fondling the Neanderthal women.
Do you think they like take pictures in the T-Rex's mouth?
Wouldn't
like,
you?
They climb in it and like take pictures.
Wouldn't
like
you?
The janitors. I mean, if I could, yeah.
I would do it. You got it now with a selfie stick. It's so easy.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should go work. Maybe we should go work at a museum.
Yeah, are the museums hiring the way the Oscar Mayer Wiener truck is? Because I can like get into that. Like,
well, I don't know if they're hiring right now. Did you see when they were showing footage across the nation of traffic accidents and highways freezing and all that? That the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile spun out off a highway.
See, it's one of the dangers of the job.
I know.
Like trying to drive a fucking hot dog in a fucking polar vortex. Like it is just you're not supposed to do that. Like it's textbook example of things not to do.
This is the winter. What are you doing with summer food?
Mm-hmm. This is the winter of our discontent. God.
That's a thing, right?
Of
Like
your
I bought
disconnect?
hot dogs.
This is the winter of our disconnect.
Yes.
What were you saying, Trevor?
That's a thing, though, right? Like I bought hot dogs the other day, and like I love hot dogs, but I haven't eaten them yet because it's cold out.
Yeah, you can't eat hot dogs in this weather. What are you, nuts?
You can, but what are you going to do? You're going to bake them in the oven? Don't boil them. Any of you people saying, "Oh, you boil hot dogs?" For shame.
No, you fry them in a fucking pan and get them all crispy.
Go.
The last time that I
boil a hot dog.
Last time that I cooked hot dogs inside, I boiled them in Guinness.
I had that's the thing. I was just going to say, I had an uncle back in the day who used to have a big pot of hot dogs for like football, and he would boil hot dogs in beer.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, people like it. I get it, but I just don't like hot dogs boiled. I rather them be on a grill or fried up or whatever you want. Not fried up, but like in the pan. Yeah, exactly. Fried up.
You like your wiener all shriveled and black? Like why that? I'm just saying, like a lot of people with their hot dogs like to burn them like that.
Oh, you're talking about hot dogs, are you?
Isn't that what we were just talking about? I don't know where your mind went to, Eric.
Different Nathans.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, you should watch Day After Tomorrow. You need to watch Vacation so I can watch Little Giants.
I told you, I've watched all of it in bits and pieces, and I've scotch taped it in my mind.
Doesn't count. You said you didn't see the whole thing. It does not count. You need to, because people are asking me if I've watched Little Giants yet because they want to get my review of it, and I said I have not watched it yet because Trevor has not watched Vacation. So you need to watch Vacation. I'll pay you the $4 to rent it off iTunes.
Watch it tonight. It's like 7 degrees outside.
Yeah. Watch National Lampoon's Vacation. Just the first one.
Okay.
And when you do that, I will go and you let me know, and I will go and watch Little Giants, and then we'll come back on the show and we'll give the review of both.
Sweet. I don't have to be here for that one, right? I could just not have to tune into that episode.
Not at all. You could sit there going, do.
Can we give Giddles homework too? There's got to be a movie Giddles hasn't seen.
I've never seen any movies.
Well, Giddles hasn't seen Goodfellas or The Godfather.
No, I've seen Goodfellas.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I haven't seen Godfather.
I thought you said you didn't watch mafia movies.
No, I don't watch mafia movies, but I've seen Goodfellas. Like, I mean, I was at a friend's house and it was on, so we watched it. But I didn't seek out to watch it like Gotti.
Once he saw Gotti, he's like, nothing will ever top this.
Yeah, I mean, how do I watch Godfather after I seen fucking Gotti, dude? Like, I feel like every other mafia movie I see is just, it's not going to capture the essence of the mafia the way John Travolta did, and the bad stock footage and the bad makeup and the costumes did, you know? I mean, yeah, Godfather is like world renowned, but so is Gotti. Some people.
All right, well, let's one step at a time. Trevor will watch National Lampoon's Vacation. Watch it tonight or this weekend. I will watch Little Giants.
Yes, Dad.
And then we'll do our reviews of each movie. And then we'll go on from there. We should give each other homework assignments like that, because I think it'd be interesting to come back in, because anything we talk about, somebody out there listening is either a big fan or has seen it, and they're amazed that one of us has not seen that. So
when you guys should have to do like PowerPoint presentations on the movies and like what your best parts were, what your favorite parts were, like really like work up your review.
I can write details, specific lines, scenarios, things like that. That's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. I need to know that you guys watch these movies.
Yeah.
I can't spell good.
How are you
Can
ever
you
going to
spell
get through
well?
life, Trevor, with an attitude like that?
Hopes and dreams.
Ugh. Well, he's got 2 gold records behind him, Eric.
And a microphone.
And
That's not where it's at, Trevor.
Eddie Vedder, yeah.
I got a Blacktooth Grin CD I put in a frame so it could sit next to the gold CDs. So
He
that
should
way-
have spray painted it.
That's just a placeholder for when he gets something that fits that frame that's better.
That's why. That's my motorcycle. There.
Yay, nay.
But Trevor has to watch those movies, and then I'll watch Little Giants, and we'll come back and get that all done.
Okay. We can talk about the icebox.
Yes. What's the icebox?
You'll have to watch to find out.
Oh, shit.
What are you talking about? What's the icebox?
Oh, I think you're going to have to... You don't know the Icebox Challenge?
No, not the icebox.
You go in the Wendy's freezer
is-
during the day after tomorrow. And then
I'm going to stand in here and I challenge Chris Rock,
yeah,
Trevor, and the Pope.
the Icebox Challenge.
No, is icebox something from Little Giants?
Yes.
Okay.
And I probably even said it wrong now that I think. No, I think
You
it was
didn't set it up as if it would have been a reference to something. You just said icebox like it was something that you weren't going to tell me about. So
Like you were having a stroke and just saying words.
yeah, words. Clutch. Thud.
I guarantee you, there's someone who's listening right now that goes, "Yeah, icebox. I get it."
Yeah.
Well, I will get it once
get
I
it.
watch the movie. After Trevor watches the movie, like we said, it's freezing across the entire country, and then it's a weird thing at the end of the week. They're promoting now. It's like in some areas could jump at least 80 degrees. It's like
It's to 20.
yeah, from negative 50 to to maybe 40, 30 degrees, like an 80 degree difference. No, it just went from I don't need to wear a scarf over my mouth. I'm going from I have to wear a scarf over my mouth to not wearing a scarf over my mouth.
I wish I was wearing a scarf over my mouth this morning when I was walking to work because I wasn't. And I got there and I straight up had icicles in my mustache.
Dude, it was
breathing
1
out.
degree when I left. 1 degree with a wind chill of negative 13.
Yeah, I woke up and I looked at my phone and it said it was 5 degrees out, but then it said that was the temperature at 2:34. So I hit refresh, and then it refreshed, and it said 5 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. God damn it! It didn't change at all.
I mean, it's
Like,
so cold that people are telling you not to breathe.
Yeah.
Dude, no joke. I was walking down the sidewalk yesterday, and I saw a pigeon, and I was like, "Is this pigeon sleeping?" It was froze to death, just sleeping on the sidewalk. I poked it with a stick, and it was just like fell over.
It just
frozen
tipped over?
solid wherever it slept. Its eyes were closed. It just went to sleep and died.
Should have punted it into traffic.
Yeah, and then the next day, I was gonna take a picture of it, but then like someone cleaned it up
Or ate it.
or ate it. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody ate it.
Yeah, probably like a frozen cat. I'm gonna go find a frozen cat with a frozen fucking pigeon in its mouth.
I was walking to work today from the train station in the city, and I get to the corner of one block, and there's just a pile of blankets, right? But it looks like a square, like a box, like somebody put a pile of blankets over a box, right? So I'm like, what is this thing? And
It's a person.
the only thanks
what
for
it is.
burying it. The only reason I knew that it was a person is because I saw the tips of shoes sticking out from the blanket at the bottom there, and I went
Like the Heaven's Gate cult.
yeah, and I went. It looked like somebody threw blankets on a pile of garbage. And some people, if you're insensitive, will say yes, that's exactly what was happening. But no, I see these 2 little parts of the feet sticking out, and I went, oh no! I'm like, they're not even panhandling; they're just trying to
Stay
live.
warm.
Yeah.
That's when like, you see all the hobos they set up on top of the subway grates because you get all that heat from the trains coming through at night.
Right.
But yeah, it's too cold. Like even if you go down to the platforms, it's too cold. Like it's way too cold out.
They were showing footage in Chicago that they had to set train tracks at the switches on fire. They were purposely burning the train tracks because it was so cold. The mechanisms and the metal would fuse, would not switch in that subarctic temperature. So they were setting fires to the public railways around the city of Chicago. So I'm laughing at this and I'm like, that seems a bit ridiculous.
I've seen Long Island Railroad do that. I've been on the train while they did that on Long Island Railroad.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. So I thought this was ridiculous until I tried to go to work today. And so the train leaves the station and then stops immediately. Now, if I did something weird. I'm sitting on the chair, the seat next to the window. So I kind of press against the window so you can sort of see, because you can't really see directly behind you.
Stuck to it like Scott Farkus's tongue to the pole.
God, I hope so.
That would be great if that was the case, then I wouldn't have to go to work. But that wasn't the case. So I was leaning against the window there. I'm like, how far did we actually move? And I can still sort of see the train station from the window. We sat there while 6 trains went past. So this is about 20-something minutes of just leaving the station and just sitting on the line, not doing anything. And then the conductor or announcer or whatever comes over the PA system saying that due to only one railway being open for Hudson River crossing into Penn Station, everything is delayed. So I'm seeing all these trains leaving this. They got to let all these trains leave the city before they can let trains back into the city because there was one track. And as we got close to that cavern or mountain, whatever range before going under the river there was you did see the track on fire. They were lighting where the main switching mechanism was, and I was like, Jesus Christ, these are the times we live in.
Yeah, because you have to. I mean, well, how else are you going to do it? Like, I was thinking about when you were saying that the guy flew over the lake to take, like, the picture or whatever. I'm thinking in my head, what temperature will it be at where it just falls into the lake? Because it's just so cold that the rotors can't move.
And the Coast Guard goes, fuck them, not helping you.
Yeah, I might get in a boat to get out there.
We'll wait for the summer thaw, and then we'll find him.
Yeah, he'll be like the alligators who just freeze with their noses out of the ice so they can stay alive, which is kind of freaky too.
Our pal Brian Shea lives in Minneapolis, where Game Informer is headquartered. And when this was all about to go down, I said, so I'm seeing the projections for Minneapolis. It's insane because, Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes, if you were not aware. Yeah. So they have a massive lake effect. And I said, so I see that it's going to be dropping to -20. And he said, no, it's -20 dropping to -60.
Yep.
I said, holy shit. I'm like, well, you're going to pick up stuff on your way home from work? He goes, I am not going to work. Nobody's going to work this week.
No one's doing anything.
Everyone's staying in there. And then I'm seeing reports of, like in Minnesota, where they can't even start cars and trucks because it's
too cold.
Yeah, it's too cold. So everyone's just sitting in their house. I mean, granted, his job is to play video games, so it's the best situation for him. He's like, I'm going to have to spend the week in my house until they can dig me out and play video games, which is what everybody else would love to be doing. But that's fortunately his job. And that's what he's been doing. He keeps posting photos to me of the temperature gauge, and he goes, garbage going out tonight? Nope. -24. Not happening. They suspended the mail. And their motto is nor rain, nor sleet, no snow or hail will ever stop the U.S. mail. And apparently,
but when it's like -60, you're like, well, fuck it. Like,
it's like fuck Amazon. We're not doing this.
Little Timmy's getting his birthday card the day after his birthday, or the day after tomorrow.
Right. See how he brings it all the way back there.
I'm trying here. I'm trying my best.
Anyway,
but yeah, fuck that shit.
So it be cold out, children's.
Kids is bundled up.
Because of the weather, and the reason why everyone's been talking about this, and it drives me nuts too on Facebook, and I'll get into that in a second. But this is what's been going on the entire week, and it's really been the forefront of every news broadcast, news story, because there's not a whole hell of a lot going on other than Super Bowl is this Sunday, and everybody's bitching down in Atlanta that it's 26 degrees. And they're like, you're supposed to be in Atlanta for the Super Bowl, and they're getting winter conditions, which I think is hysterical because you're going to watch a Super Bowl in Atlanta, and I hope it doesn't heat up. I hope it's freezing cold and they have to play with the long sleeves.
Every time there's like one of these major sporting events, I wish for the worst weather possible. I'm like a hurricane-nado with a sharknado mixed with it. Like I want all that shit to happen. I don't know. I just it's so stupid.
Frozen sharknado sounds like a drink.
Yes. Frozen sharknadoes just getting hit in the head with fucking great whites. Like poof.
Right. But it's been fun to watch the footage because I don't care about, like, they do Radio Row and you see the various NFL Hall of Famers there. Sometimes you get some of the team that's going to be playing in this week's game down there doing interviews with like the top tier of sports radio. But you see a lot of the other footage where the news is complaining about how bad the weather is. And I think Atlanta's an outdoor stadium. I don't think it's a dome stadium. So they're all complaining. And it's like, how about if the Super Bowl was being held in Green Bay this year or in Chicago? Would they have to have postponed the Super Bowl because the weather is this bad?
Oh yeah, they would totally postpone the Super Bowl.
They have to. It's a health risk, yeah.
But
people could literally die in the stands if it was like negative 30 degrees.
Well, that's what I was wondering because you see old-fashioned football footage. They always played in blizzards and snowstorms and it was freezing, whatever. But they've never had to deal with the fact of it dropping below zero while they're playing. I'm like, Super Bowl, those ad spots are already paid for and the advertising and all that stuff. It's like, there's so much money riding on this thing. Can they postpone the Super Bowl if it was in an area that the temperature was that bad?
I mean, I feel like it's like the Fire Festival, you know what I mean? Like, you cancel it because the bad press is worse than people dying at the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like that's worse press.
Yeah,
you know?
In fact, there's some 98-year-old fan from Chicago that's like, I'm not going to miss this. This is going to be my last Super Bowl. And then they freeze to death in the stand.
Yeah, and then they're the Heisman Trophy.
Or what if they do like
you win grandma, frozen grandma. That's your prize.
That's college, but
spray painted in gold.
I don't know anything about golf.
What if but then you have the halftime show. So what if they open the dome for the halftime show for Maroon 5 and everyone just freezes to death?
You know what? In that case, please have the
and
Super
it's just
Bowl
20 minutes of awkward footage of the band singing This Love, and then all of a sudden they just kind of froze slowly and the instruments stop and it's just slow pans, silence.
No. It's like the T2000, the T1000 or whatever, when it like hits the liquid nitrogen, it's just slowly freezing.
Yeah.
No, they would have to sing Harder to Breathe.
Is that a song of theirs?
It's their number one hit.
Oh, shame on you for knowing that, but it does fit. It's getting harder. I do know that song. It's getting harder to breathe, right? Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It's not getting hotter in here.
No, I didn't realize I knew that. Well, I knew the song. I didn't realize it was like I don't know their catalog except for This Love because that's the only song I know that is them. Dude, apparently they have a huge catalog. They've been around for like 10 years.
It's a great word. Catalog.
Catalog is great.
Like the JCPenney catalog.
I wonder if they're going to get snow. Can you throw snowballs at Adam Levine?
I mean, you can. Can you hit him?
Like Philadelphia has that story of throwing snowballs at Santa and then throwing batteries at people. Like, what if a snowstorm hits Atlanta? How are they going to play that game? How are they going to have They're going to close the doors? Is that what you said? Oh, the dome.
The dome.
Do they have a dome?
It's a retractable roof.
For Atlanta, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, so they'll have the dome. Oh, boo. They're going to have the dome closed then, and it's going to be temperature controlled.
Yeah, the Furel Goodell will make that decision on Saturday.
That's so dumb. No, what decision? They're going to do it. There's too much money involved. They're going to do everything they possibly can.
Make it as cold as possible. Pump in air conditioning.
No, he has
like minus 30, turn on the AC.
He has to make the decision about the roof being open or closed by Saturday.
That's just.
How long is it? What does it take that long? Like,
that's a gesture.
Thing and you crank it open like you do in your house when you have a sunroof.
They made that decision. He's just got to. He's got to do that to appease people, like when they do Groundhog's Day announcements. Which, by the way, happy Groundhog's Day to everybody. When they make the announcements, like Punxsutawney Phil is going to see 6 more.
Is that why we've done this show like 40 times this week?
Exactly. I got you.
Oh my god! Now it all makes sense. Fucking gophers.
But they've already made that decision. He just has to do it as a.
I knew you were going to say that because this happened 40 times already.
No, because not only is, like you said, is there money involved, like they have things that fly over the stadium that they charge extra for. So if the dome's closed, they're not going to do that. Like the Goodyear blimp's not going to fly over if it's closed.
What about the Oscar Mayer Wiener blimp?
Oh, that crashed on the way to Atlanta. We just talked about it.
What if it just flies off the freeway and just spins into the middle of
That's what I'm hoping for, because the ice is so bad. It skids through that back entrance to the arena and it comes flying out, donuts on the field. Takes out the defensive line.
Have you seen Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
No.
It's shaped like the Batmobile.
Is it?
I'm telling you, Google it.
Why would it be shaped like the Batmobile?
Look at a picture of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, not the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and tell me it doesn't have those hard angles like the Batmobile and Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Because it has a triangle shape to it? That's why you think it looks like the Batmobile?
And just the way I've seen pictures of the live from Super Bowl, the way they angle it looks just like the Batmobile.
This looks like the Mercedes dealership on 11th Avenue in the city. It's the same building structure.
I'm sorry, I can't afford to go that high up in the city to the Mercedes dealership.
Didn't say you have to go. Oh, you're such an adult. I mean, you've never seen the thing? It takes up like the whole corner of 57th and 11th.
Dude, it's negative 13 out. I don't go outside.
But yeah, this does not look like the Batmobile whatsoever. It looks like looks like an art museum, but it looks rather nice actually.
But this is what it's called, the Thunderdome? What is this place called?
Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
2 teams enter, 1 team leaves. Sounds like the Thunderdome to me.
Oh, Thunderbowl.
Thunderbowl.
It's not just that you win the trophy, but you win the right to live till next season.
Well, no, Pro Thunderball. That was an Upright Citizens Brigade sketch.
Oh, was it?
It was a whole event, and it was like baseball, but you get to run around the bases with a baseball bat. In the 7th inning, there was a car that would just drive through the field running over players. Oh,
yes, the 7th inning car. I do remember that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just running over people. It's great.
I forgot all about that. I think I have those box sets somewhere.
Yeah, Pro Thunderball. See, he has no idea. He's putting his hands up like he's being arrested.
Upright Citizens Brigade. It was it's an improv theater and school in L.A. and in New York, but they also had a short run on Comedy Central. Yeah, I think it was like 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my God, I just remembered Ass Pennies.
Yeah. You have my ass pennies. You all have my ass pennies. Yeah? Take those pennies out of your pocket. Those have been up my ass. Think you're a big man now handling my ass pennies.
While we're doing the sketch comedy stuff, I saw that Gittles wrote Ken Manera from
Marino?
Marino from the state, that you asked him to find funding at all possible to do a state movie.
Yeah, because someone tweeted at them asking about a state movie, and he was just like, yo, if we can get funding, we'll do it. And I was just like, yes, do it. State movie, state TV show, a state app that just, says, hey, Aquaman, go talk to some fish. That would make me happy. Like, that's all I need. You
open the app and it just goes, no, 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 no.
You just open the app and it's just like, I'm not going to die of a drug overdose like Bob Dylan.
You mean Uncle Robert?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, he's not dead. No, he's not.
I'm out of here.
Yes. That's how you gotta do. You gotta tweet people if you want results in this world.
We keep giving Trevor more and more homework because he's got to watch movies and TV shows.
He's clearly not seen The State.
No, he has not seen The State because that was on in the 90s.
He has not seen The State.
Yeah. I have the box set. I can lend it to you.
I don't know if I want to watch it the way that Eric's been singing into the mic right now and looking at me.
It's all 100% accurate.
Like sketch comedy shows, it's like Monty Python, The State, and then like Kids in the Hall. Like it's like that's how it goes.
I don't know if I'd put Kids in the Hall below The State.
First of all,
I think you have to because of how long they've been on and Brain Candy and everything they've done. I think they get the number 2 slot behind Monty Python.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it goes Monty Python, the Kids in the Hall, then The State.
All right, hold on.
All right, I can agree with that.
Let me write this down.
After that, it's like it just devolves. It's like probably like Whitest Kids Show and Birthday Boys and like all those different groups and shit.
Kids in the Hall. Is that with an S or a Z?
With an S.
With a Z.
In the Hall. Okay, writing that down.
You have to write this down. Like you don't know Kids in the Hall. Like you didn't have Comedy Central growing up, and it was just the only thing on repeat forever.
These are the Daves I know.
The only thing I ever watched. The only thing I ever watched on Comedy Central was the Conan the Conan reruns.
I'm crushing your head, crushing your head,
crushing your head.
You remember the monologues? Daddy drank, and then Dave Foley would just come in there and scream at the kid.
There was the one bit they did. It was the guy who wrote like the scariest book ever written, and it was just one page that said, "Hey, there's a spider on your back." And it's like now on audio tape, and the guy's driving down the street, like, "Hey, there's a spider on your back," and he just crashes into a wall.
That actually sounds really funny.
It's a great
really
show. It's produced by Broadway Entertainment, Broadway Video, which is Lorne Michaels' company. And a couple of the kids in the hall wound up transferring over to being cast members on Saturday Night Live for a little bit. Like Michael McKean, I think, did it, and did Scott Thompson do it, or Dave?
I don't know.
Not Dave Foley.
So.
The other Brian McCullough, I think, was on there.
I don't think so. It was Bruce McCullough. I don't think they were though. Maybe
I know Michael McKean definitely was, and I think one other one was on there for a tiny bit.
I remember there was a great bit they did where there's a guy and he got this job working for like a construction yard, and they told me, and it was a whole silent bit, and they were just like, pointing at his shoes. It's like, you need to get steel toe shoes. So he like worked all this job to like get these steel toe shoes, and then like they put him in the truck for like the day labor job. They drive him out to a field and then rob him of his shoes and then put him back in the window and leave him in the middle of the field. And I thought it was like the funniest bit. Because that was just the whole scheme. Just like making people buy these shoes and then dropping them off in the middle of nowhere, robbing them of their shoes, and then reselling the shoes to the next guy who had to work to make money. It was brilliant. I
don't think this ever came out in a box set or a DVD or anything, but if you can find the series, H. John Benjamin Has a Van.
Oh, I think it's on YouTube. You can watch most of them.
There's an episode where they're playing I Dare You to Cross This Line.
Yeah.
Right? And then he does it to a friend who winds up crossing the border from Mexico to the United States.
Yes.
And he tries to walk back over the line and he gets assaulted by border guards. And then John Benjamin just gets in his car and he leaves waving and laughing. And then runs into him years later where he's like in Mexico near Guatemala. And then he plays the thing again, and the guy winds up going over that border, now can't get back into Mexico, and John Benjamin runs off again. The things that make us
good
laugh.
Sketch comedy shows.
Yeah. I want to talk about this before. Well, there's two other things before we go to break here, but I'll save the UltraViolet thing for the next thing, for the next segment. But I do want to talk about, for those who are interested in fast food, I can't support this stuff. KFC announced that they're testing it in 3 states, a Cheetos chicken sandwich. Its new menu item is a hand-breaded extra crispy chicken fillet with special Cheetos cheese sauce on a toasted bun with mayo and a layer of just crunchy Cheetos. That doesn't sound appetizing to me. Like Fritos in a burrito sound great. The Dorito tacos sound great. This Cheetos in a chicken sandwich did not sound appealing.
See, here's the thing to me. I would try it. It just seems really fucking lazy to me. Like, it's just like, oh, what's the new sandwich? We just threw some Cheetos on the bun. Like, there's no innovation. It's not creative. It's under the same company that does Taco Bell, so I feel like they're trying to do like what Taco Bell did with the Doritos Loco taco that was made out of like a Dorito, and then they do like a Frito burrito, but that's like Taco Bell where it makes sense. Like KFC, like just putting crunchy Cheetos on a chicken sandwich, like, yeah, I'll try it, but why do I need the chicken sandwich to be extra crunchy and then this crunchy? Like, I feel like it's going to sound like I'm chewing on rocks.
Anytime you get extra crispy anything, like, because KFC always pushed that extra crispy stuff since like the 90s when it came out. And it's just more like shitty breading on it, and it doesn't make the chicken taste any better. And if anything, it feels like the chicken dries out if you do it. Like, I understand original recipe. Or even like with Popeyes, with their original, sometimes it could see, depending where
is the best.
Popeyes is the best. But if you get the chicken, what's the
The only good thing from Popeyes is the biscuits. Otherwise, it's a garbage fast food chain.
What are you talking about? Popeyes is amazing.
Popeyes is great.
Ugh.
Their chicken tender po' boy sandwich is amazing.
No, it's one of the few fast foods I've actually spit on the floor.
Then
what?
You went to a really shitty Popeyes then.
It was in the middle of Secaucus in a swamp.
Yeah, then you went to the wrong one.
Bad one.
Yeah. Where? I don't even know where they're
down the street from me. It's so good.
I love Popeyes. I'm not a big fan of their, like, I see people like the Cajun beans and rice. Like, I think KFC has some better sides than Popeyes
I don't get
does?
any of the sides at any of these places. I just get chicken and then I just eat it like a savage. And then I'll eat the biscuit. Maybe that's it. I'm not eating their fake mashed potatoes. I'm not eating their shitty macaroni and cheese. Like, I'm just going to fill up on crispy chicken.
The sides, their fries are okay, but they taste like the same ones that they use at like Checkers or Rallies, depending where you are in the country. Those seasoned fries.
Like they're cooked through all the way. You know what I mean? Like, they're always like a weird thickness where like the middle has like, it's not like a cooked enough potato for me.
Right.
Like, I would rather just have a good steak fry or maybe like tater tots or something like that. Or even if like they did like the McDonald's like hash brown patty, like put that on the chicken sandwich. Put the McDonald's hash brown patty on the sandwich with the chicken on that. I would eat that.
You might want to copyright that.
That's not a bad idea.
It's amazing.
Like instead of a bun, fuck it, just eat it with the potato. Like just do that.
Well, back to the KFC thing. Like, if you get the original recipe, sometimes if it's cooked the proper way, it's delicious. Sometimes it's soggy and greasy because they just, we're kind of lazy with it. But anytime you get extra crispy stuff, what's another recipe? Chili's, I think, has those chicken crispers, and it's just tenders that are overly
overfried.
Yeah, overfried, and they're just garbage. So you're getting the extra crunch, but at the cost of the chicken flavor. So doing this now, you got an extra crunch on the chicken, which automatically dries out the flavor of the chicken, and then the Cheetos actual pieces on the bottom of the bun with a Cheetos cheese sauce, which KFC is not the first one to do this. Burger King were doing those Cheetos, like you do a fried jalapeno popper kind of thing like that. They were doing that where they had cheese bites where they were Cheetos bites.
Yeah,
and I don't think
whatever.
I don't think Cheetos cheese flavoring is on the top of anybody's list. Like if it was Velveeta, that might be a different thing. But Cheetos, no.
I prefer a crunchy Cheeto than say a puffy cheese curd.
I don't like any puffy cheese.
No one calls it puffy cheese curd.
Because it's not a cheese curd.
They call them cheese doodles.
Cheese curd is like cheese curds.
Yeah, cheese curds is what it's in poutine.
Poutine. Jesus, you guys can't say any words.
Poutine.
Jesus.
Mine's the better way of saying it. Poutine.
Poutine?
Yep.
Sorny, Magnet Box. You guys are like the knockoff brands of
Poutine. Think about it.
Christ.
Covered in cheese and gravy.
Yeah, poutine sounds fucking gross.
Poutine is very alluring.
I put that.
Poutine sounds like you need mouthwash.
It was one time, Giddles. I don't think that this is the worst sounding sandwich though that could possibly be made. I mean, remember when 7-Eleven made the pizza sandwiches? I feel like that was just being made.
I don't remember that. I wouldn't even try that. That sounds horrible.
Oh yeah, dude, it was called the Pizza Eats.
Was it? When was this?
It was on the Celebrity Apprentice, and they had to sell these pizza sandwiches, and it was a limited edition thing that 7-Eleven did. It was just, instead of having bread, they would put your sandwich, whether it be like turkey or tuna or something, in between two pieces of pizza.
That sounds horrific. That's as bad as KFC.
If your sandwich is a burger, then yes, then that's delicious, but no.
That sounds as bad as KFC did that double stack sandwich or whatever it was called, where it was two pieces of chicken with everything in the middle. There was no bread.
No, they had the grilled cheese that had that had mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, it was awesome. My heart hurt.
It was like mozzarella sticks between bread, which was like grilled cheese, but then like a chicken sandwich in the middle. That was like a weird year and a half time in this country where they're like, yeah, just keep throw it together, fry it, put it on a bun.
You guys are worried about carbs? We're eliminating carbs altogether and throwing more meat into this thing.
Yeah, just straight meat.
More meat and cheese, and then we'll throw bacon on top of that.
Like, I'm surprised that Taco Bell wasn't just like, here, get the tortilla funnel, and you just hold up your mouth and they just pour that fucking meat slurry into it until you can't eat anymore, and then you have to eat the funnel.
Or you get the cheese gun. Just open your mouth and then pump in the cheese gun.
I'd be dead. And
you'd just be sitting on the couch.
He's so dead.
Yeah.
He just keeps shooting himself in the face with that gun.
He's dead, sir. Why? He was shooting up heroin? No, he got some fucking condiment gun from Taco Bell.
Yeah, it was some blue cheese.
He OD'd on cheesy Frito burritos.
Yeah, I think it was a Stilton.
I washed myself with a rag on a stick.
See, he gets that reference.
Yeah, that one he gets.
He gets that one.
Yep, it was my future.
But anyway, I would try this one just once. There's another sandwich that's out that looks completely disgusting. It's at Wendy's. It's that bacon maple chicken sandwich.
That sounds fucking awesome.
It's chicken sandwich with bacon and then a maple syrup all over it.
Dude, that sounds fucking great.
That does not sound appealing to me.
It's like a chicken and waffle sandwich. That sounds amazing.
That's all you. You go and do the review then for the consumer because I'm not doing that.
I'll gladly do it. Find me a fucking Wendy's, dude. There's no Wendy's near me.
Yeah, I'm salivating over this one here.
This one sounds amazing. I would do that. You know why? Because you take maple syrup, you mix it with a little bit of mayo, and you get that maple mayo.
I've never thought to do that either. Maple mayo.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude, it's so good.
Finger licking good.
Throw some black pepper in there. Oh man, you are set.
All right.
And it's really good with sweet potato fries.
See, I don't like sweet potatoes. I'm not a big fan.
Jeez.
What's wrong with you?
Guys.
I don't like sweet potatoes. I've tried.
Go home, Eric. You're drunk.
No, a regular baked potato would be great. I'm not a big sweet potato fan.
Well, it tastes good on regular French fries too, because I mean, dipping sauces are, the French fries, the vessel to eat sauce. So you don't look like us now.
All right.
So
maybe somewhere in the future. Before we go to break. Before we go to break, Trevor, what's this about Heinz? What are they giving away?
They are giving away. Hold on, I have the official paperwork in front of me because Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Hey, just in time for Valentine's Day, Heinz is giving away 150 jars of ketchup caviar.
Ugh.
What is that?
It's little pearls of ketchup and not fish eggs. All right.
So little bubbles of ketchup?
Yeah, basically.
What is the point?
I'll try it.
It comes in this really, really fancy, like those little jams you get when you go to a Cracker Barrel or a really fancy diner, and it's got like the little seal over it.
Right.
It looks just like the fish eggs, except they're little balls of ketchup.
I mean, I'd eat it. I like ketchup.
And it says, "Get yours for Valentine's Day."
Oh, not buying it.
You know what it is? I'll tell you exactly what this is.
57 puns to choose from, and that's the one they went with.
Right.
And
somebody
it's
had
absolutely free.
Somebody had that pun and then said, all right, let's build something around this pun. They didn't think of this dumb ketchup caviar nonsense, which sounds ridiculous. It's all to sell this stupid pun and be cute.
Yep.
Marketing gimmick.
Not buying it.
Nope. Forget it.
It looks really interesting. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of like, they look like jelly beans, to be honest with you.
I hate jelly beans.
But no, I'm saying that's like the form. Like that's what they look like. They're not like, because the caviar can be really, really small, but these are. How about a pomegranate?
I hate pomegranate too.
I don't like pomegranate.
I've tried drinking that pom drink. I've tried it mixed up in fruit salad and stuff. I'm just not a pomegranate fan. I know it's a superfood, but I just can't. I can't deal with it. All right, whatever. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got to talk some TV and movie updates. Giddles and I saw Polar on Netflix, which we'll talk about. And we also got to talk about what the email that we got today from UltraViolet, the streaming service, and what you need to know about what's going to happen with your digital movies. We'll be right back.
It's Eric Nagel with Erik and Giddles. More next. It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel.
This is the Penguin, Robin Lord Taylor. You are listening to It's Erik Nagel.
Welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. That is me. Over in the upside down is Giddles, and the right side up is Trevor. And we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. But looking at the last week's box office, coming in at number 1, Glass, which I still have to go see the first 2 movies. Depending who you talk to, they either loved or hated this movie. It's very polarizing. Number 2, The Upside. Number 3, Aquaman. Which moved up again after all this time. It's moving back up the charts, which is really interesting to see. Number 4, The Kid Who Would Be King. I don't know what that movie is about. And
it's another King Arthur story, but it's about a little British boy.
Okay. And number 5, still in the top 5 after all this time, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It has made $11 billion. So go out and go see that. Opening up this weekend, there's a movie called... No, I don't know what this movie is. Miss Bala? I don't think there's anything really good going on until... Well, next weekend has the Lego Movie 2. But other
it's
than
also
that,
like Super Bowl weekend, so I feel like there's not a lot coming out.
Super Bowl weekend, we have the Oscars coming up very soon, so yeah, you're not going to see a whole hell of a lot. I'm looking through February here. Well, that Alita, the Battle Angel movie, that looks pretty good. That's coming out on February 14th. I want to actually see that. And then the rest of the month is kind of meh. Like, who cares?
Yeah, we're in that weird part of year. It's like meh.
Yeah. Looking over at the DVD list, see if there's anything that came out that's worth your time and effort. No.
Which it might be worth your time and effort to buy the DVDs now.
Yeah, well, let's get into that then. So Brian sends me a text today and says, did you get this email? You use UltraViolet, right? Yeah, I do. So he sends me a screen cap of this email. I said, wait a minute, I'll go and look. And then lo and behold, I got this email. So I don't think anybody really knew this was happening, but you know how we talk about with cable systems why you don't buy your digital copies for movies on your cable system? Because if you switch cable systems or if you move into an area that doesn't have that cable system, you lose the movie, which you're supposed to have for life, right? So UltraViolet, what UltraViolet is the main company. Usually when you buy a DVD or a Blu-ray, it comes with a code for the digital copy of the movie, or if you buy the digital version of it online. Usually
most of them say it like on the case right now. It's like comes with the UltraViolet copy. Like,
right.
You get the copy.
So that was always a perk of me buying movies because I get the digital copy, but I always have the physical copy, which, by the way, once again, I will stress to everybody, always buy the physical copy of the movie, and this is why. So UltraViolet sends an email out today saying, we are writing you to inform you that the UltraViolet service is planning to shut down as of July 31st, 2019. You are receiving this message because you signed up for an UltraViolet library or for a service that created an UltraViolet library for you. What does this mean for you? Well, between January 31st and July 31st of 2019, you can continue to access your UltraViolet movies and TV shows through the retailers linked to your UltraViolet library. So that means that UltraViolet is pretty much the main hub for getting your digital copy, but then it can be associated with, say, Fandango now used to have a streaming thing, which that's defunct now. That's gone away. Vudu, which is you see a lot on the Walmart movies. When you buy stuff at Walmart, it says available through Vudu, which is just another body.
I have friends who buy a lot of stuff through Vudu because they let me use their login so I can watch it.
I always thought, because remember back in the day, Walmart used to censor everything, or they wouldn't sell the really extreme versions of anything. So I never did Vudu because I thought Vudu was like a Walmart company, but apparently it wasn't. They just had they had a partnership deal with it. A lot of these other apps that had access to the streaming stuff all merged into this one thing called Movies Anywhere. I've been using that app forever, which gives me access to my iTunes library. If you bought movies through iTunes, it's available there. If you got the digital copy slips from movies, it's available there. It's all in one spot. It's actually a really good app. I do recommend you go and get that. So it says you can continue to access your UltraViolet movie and TV shows through the retailers linked through your library. You can also continue to purchase new movies and TV shows and redeem digital codes through that date. Link your UltraViolet library to additional retailers can maximize your access to your library and help avoid disruption. And then they're giving you tips here of what you should do now in order to prevent that you lose your entire library when July 31st hits. And that's going to be a possibility. A lot of people aren't going to bother with this. And then also,
they're not even checking their email, might go to their spam. Like, they have no idea.
So if you're using, say, the Vudu app on your television or Roku, or if you got that Movies Anywhere on your Xbox or something like that, and you go to check your library, if you didn't make the proper changes, guess what? You're going to lose everything because you didn't take the time to sort this out. After the shutdown date, your UltraViolet library will automatically close, and in the majority of cases, your movies and TV shows will remain accessible at previously linked retailers. You can continue to make online purchases and redeem codes, but this may only be available through that retailer and will not be added to your library. So they're giving.
What does it mean by retailer? Like, if you buy it at Best Buy, then you get a digital copy through Best Buy. Like, what does it mean?
I think it means like if you bought the movie through iTunes, it'll still be available through your iTunes library. Or if you have your library here and you want to associate it to Vudu or to Movies Anywhere, make that, set up those accounts at those other places so that it knows you have permission to own these movies, because has proof from UltraViolet that you've purchased these things, and then we'll make those available on other platforms once UltraViolet goes away.
Yeah. I don't trust any of that stuff. Like, that's why I just have copies of things I want, and everything else, like, I don't. If I'm gonna buy it, it's gonna be a physical copy. Everything else, I'm just gonna stream through like Netflix or something like that. But I don't like buying digital copies of things because you don't know if it's really yours.
I like digital copies in addition to, like you said, in addition of the physical copy. You saw a part of my studio down here. I have a whole wall that was custom built. It should be bookshelves, but it's all DVDs and Blu-rays because I like to own the actual copy. Now, a lot of people... That's
our generation's books.
Right, but that's exactly what it is. So a lot of people say, why do you have all this? It's cluttering up too much space. Free stuff up. Just get digital copies. Buy them online. You save so much space. Or like some people, just torrent them and put them on a hard drive. Sometimes that's easy, sometimes it's not. And there's times I want to go back to something and I don't want to have to pay to watch it again. I'd rather just have it right here. It's just easier for me. It's not bothering anybody else. Anytime I post a photo of it, I'll post a photo on It's Erik Nagel this weekend on the Instagram thing to see how many people actually complain about seeing that physical copy of movie sitting all over my walls there. But I just do it because I rather own it and have it and do with it what I want. This is the scary shit that goes on with these digital copies. Remember, there was a story not too long ago. I forgot which service was saying...
It was that Film Struck website, or Film Streak. It was like one of those websites. And everyone had their digital collections on there, and then they went under, and everyone's like, well, what happens to our digital collection? And they were like, oh, that's just kind of shrugged.
Yeah, you got to read those terms of service, because it's supposed to say, that you have access to this for the rest of your life. But if those companies go out of business, then... that's not their problem. What are they going to do?
Yeah, exactly. You have to pirate it, and then you get arrested for pirating.
I just wanted to own the movie. Now you're going to jail, and your family is ruined.
Yeah. Was it worth it for Tango and Cash? Yes, it was.
Damn you, Tango! Quiet, Cash.
Tango, Cash. Actual line from the movie.
Moving on to a couple other things.
Tango and Cash.
Dude, so good.
The Ron Burgundy podcast makes its debut on February 7th. You can subscribe to it on iHeartRadio app or I think iTunes as well.
Okay.
So the trailer, they made a visual trailer for it on YouTube. I put it up on our Facebook page. It's Erik Nagel. It's pretty funny. He's grilling. What baseball mascot is the one that's the chicken? I don't know. There's some sports team that has a chicken mascot, and he's just grilling them with horrific questions. It's pretty funny. So it's up there. Some other movie updates for you. Captain Marvel, March 8th. Avengers Endgame, April 26th. Godzilla, King of Monsters, May 31st. Secret Life of Pets 2, which I did enjoy the first one there. Sans Louis C.K., by the way. June 7th. And Men in Black 3, International, June 14th.
I'm so mad.
Why? That you're going to miss Men in Black 3?
No, I like Men in Black. It's just I feel like the third one does not look good.
I think it's a complete.
They shouldn't have made any after the first one. They gotta just stop. They gotta leave movies alone, man. Just stop trying to go back to that well. Just be creative. Come up with something new.
Well, you're gonna
run shit into the ground.
Wait. Men in Black 3. They already did Men in Black 3. This would be Men in Black 4.
No, this would be 3 because they did Men in Black, which was a different set of characters. That wasn't Will Smith and in the same storyline. Trust me, it's correct.
I don't think it's correct.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree on that.
Because Will Smith was in 3 movies, and then this one's the one with Liam Hemsworth.
Will Smith was in a lot of movies. He just happens to also be in these movies.
Yeah.
Trevor did 3.
No, because I know for a fact that Will Smith did 3 Men in Black movies. Now, this one is the one with Thor. International.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God, there was a third one. No, don't feel victorious because you watch shitty movies.
Victorious.
All right, so I guess this is the 4th one then. Oh well, we're still not going to go see it, but we're just letting you know it's coming out. The Bad Boys 3 teaser on Will Smith's Instagram showed up. If you're interested in Bad Boys, I don't think I've even seen the original one.
Oh, dude, they're great.
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
All the Bad Boys are great.
Have not seen that.
Oh God, Erik, you watch so weird movies, man.
You don't watch anything. What are you judging me for? You don't know what half the world is doing, And then you sit there and throw your hands up like, I'm young, I'm inexperienced, I don't know what's going on. Everything's old to me. And he shakes his hands like that.
I know everything that's going on. I work for that I constantly need to know pop culture.
Then how do you not know it on this show?
Because you guys talk about pop culture from 1982.
No, we don't. Really? Does your show talk about current pop culture? What is your show discussing?
Glitter balls.
I can't wait for NCAA action. March Madness coming up.
I'm sorry. Who were you doing an impression of?
You know who.
Clip and send.
Please
do. Anyway, no. The latest trend about how dipping your dog's balls in glitter. Glitter balling. That is the latest trend that is going on right now in Hollywood. You're welcome.
What? Glitter balling? What is
glitter balling?
What is this?
You fall for these internet trends, man. These are not trends. This is something that somebody took a picture of, one dude did, and it got retweeted by a grandma on Etsy. And now the news thinks it's happening to every dog's balls. It's not happening.
There are dogs who are getting their testicles glittered.
Not happening. Not happening.
You can't go to BuzzFeed for all your hard-hitting news, my friend.
I do not. This is what comes up in the same exact kind of websites that I work very hard and prep this show with.
Glitter balling is not a thing. Just like wonderwalling is not a thing.
Oh my god!
Wonderwalling is definitely a thing.
It's 100% a thing.
Glitter balling and wonderwalling not equals not things.
Wonderwalling is the mathematical totally equation. Thing. Maybe Eric just didn't go to parties. Wonderwalling is totally a thing.
Thousands upon thousands of men have been laid due to Oasis.
I don't know if they've been laid due to it, but wonderwalling happens. Like, I sent you video. It happened in November, like around the corner at my old apartment.
Fake news, my friend. Happens. Fake news.
We were there.
I have the video. It's still on my phone.
Really? Put it up on the Instagram. Let everybody see it.
I can't because my roommate follows it, and he'll be embarrassed.
Then it doesn't exist.
No. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't exist unless it's on social media.
It did. Well, for this audience of this show, doesn't believe that it exists until we see that video.
They all know. They all know about Wonderwall and Powerball and all the...
I'm not falling for your dumb movement of believe all Wonderwalling. Not going to happen.
There have been tweets sent to you.
Doctored. Anyone could write shit on a chalkboard outside of a restaurant just to go viral on social media. Lord knows Giddles has taken many interesting photos of chalkboards out in front of coffee shops and restaurants and posted them online. Some of them very well done, but some of them are just for attention.
There is a whole college humor skit that says how to get laid while playing Wonderwall. It's got
college
over 20
humor
million views.
Skit. A prepared bit.
I'm telling you, this shit happens. I've seen it.
There's no glitter balling. There's no Wonderwalling.
All right, let me go watch this show I've never heard of. Kids in
the Hall.
Okay.
TV news. For those of you following the superhero universe on the CW, they've announced early that they're renewing Arrow, The Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, and Riverdale, all getting new season commitments. Showtime is renewing the show Shameless, which I can't believe is still on the air. Apparently it does very well, going for season 10. CBS All Access, which is their app, which they're desperately trying to get people to commit to paying for the subscription to put new and unique programming. They have that new version of Star Trek is on there. They have announced The Twilight Zone is going to premiere on April 1st.
Finally.
On the CBS All Access, but I'm not going to watch it because I'm not paying for CBS All Access, which is disappointing because I do want to see that show. They also ordered a 10-episode commitment for an adaptation of Stephen King's The Stand. So they're going to redo The Stand. I would love to see that too, but what can you do?
It's just a TV stand.
Right.
7 episodes, an hour long, just watching the TV stand.
Off to the side, somebody's smoking, and you just see the smoke waft in front of the screen.
And then Flanders comes in and he's like, hey, isn't that my TV tray? It's like, no, Flanders, go home.
And there's obviously a label maker that says property of Ned Flanders. Other TV updates for you. If you have kids and you watch this show, I don't know how you sit through it, but Fuller House has been renewed for a 5th and final season.
How is it 5 seasons? Wasn't that out like a year ago, the first season everyone was talking about it? Like 5 seasons?
I guess they do like 2 seasons a year or something like that. They're just cranking it out.
Well, the Earth does 4 seasons a year, so...
Trevor saw the Ted Bundy special that just went up on Netflix. What did you think of it, Trevor?
It's absolutely amazing. I had to binge it's a little over 4 hours. It's 4 episodes. They're each an hour long, except the last one I think is like 70 minutes. And it really dives deep, talking about, from start to finish, about what a psychopath this guy really is. And it chronicalizes everything very well. It just held me all 4 hours. And it takes a lot for me to just sit down and binge something from start to finish like that. I mean, this guy was truly like a psycho. And but everything that they say about him at the same time, like how charming he was, like you see the interviews he used to do, even when he was in jail,
right?
Some of the people that he talked to. But the funny thing is, it's like he really did sabotage himself. Like he probably could have got away with some of the things and or not gotten life or not gotten, death, if he just let his lawyers defend him, because there was plenty of times that people messed up,
right?
And he could have got away with things, and then he would fire his lawyer and take over.
There's always that, that classic psychological profile where they talk about, it's not like what you went and committed a murder and then never did anything again, where you're not hoping that somebody finds out that you did that. But when you're a serial killer and you've gotten away with it for so long, it's like developing something and then the internet takes it and you don't get credit for it. It kind of seeps into your head. It's like, well, I want somebody to notice that it was me doing it. I want the credit for it. And they eventually will subconsciously self-sabotage in order to like leave breadcrumbs for people to discover, that they did it. So they get the notoriety, they get the celebrity, they get the fame, whether they're directly thinking about it or not. It's what it does fit the profile for most serial killers.
I mean, he didn't admit that he killed all those women until literally like the day before he died. And he really wanted to, he claimed his innocence the whole entire time. Even when he escaped and everything like that, it was just, the problem was every time like he would take over, like the one key thing that really kind of like put the nail in the coffin was someone who survived, who he thought was dead, he made her relive the whole entire story about what happened in the sorority house from start to finish. And like, you never want the jury to hear the gruesome story about what you supposedly did in detail. And he fired his lawyer right before he was supposed to before this witness was supposed to go on the stand. Then he got up and,
well, he originally was supposed to be a lawyer, right? He went to school and studied for that.
He wanted to be in politics, be a lawyer.
Yeah, he has that mentality of a lawyer, of a politician, where it's very surface level conversation, very surface level interest in whoever they're talking about or whatever they're talking about. They never have any kind of genuine interest in talking with people unless it's, something about them personally. And even that way, like he mastered the art of speaking enough to divert people from figuring out who he really is. And he was smart enough to study other serial killers, where if you look back over the time of at least in the history of American serial killers, you always see like, he was a weird guy, or he's always quiet and kept to himself, those cliches, right? He did the opposite. He was hiding in front. He had that girlfriend with a kid while he was going off and doing other things. So he looked like this, he was a somewhat good-looking guy. He was very personable. People found him, charming and entertaining. So he was kind of hiding out in the open, as opposed to a lot of these other serial killers who were hiding a big secret and then kind of kept to themselves and didn't want to socialize with people. He went the other way, but it's all was feeding the ego that he needed to be recognized and to be celebrified. If that's
what
a
all
word.
Serial killers do. Like the BTK killer. Dude, that guy was a preacher for 25 years, and then he just started sending letters out of the blue, and they tracked him down and caught him. Like, these people want that notoriety. They want to be known. It's just that they were never caught.
That's over time. But I think in Ted Bundy's case, a little bit was he was flaunting it and hiding in the open, and just thought he would never get caught, and he could always get away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Ted Bundy story. Like, I'm gonna watch it. I literally know nothing about Ted Bundy.
I haven't watched it, and I know Trevor has, but I've heard from somebody else who also works in law enforcement, and he said there's not a lot on those tapes, other than he was surprised that people didn't know these tapes existed, up until now, and he wasn't sure that maybe they were sealed as part of a court order or there was a time limit on these things, but that they couldn't surface or couldn't be discussed by anything until a certain amount of time. And now all of a sudden they got the rights to it. And then what does that say there? The truth behind the viral photo of a dog with glitter-coated testicles. What is it?
Because we're talking about it, so a fucking sponsored ad came up on my Twitter for it.
Right.
And it literally said that someone did it as a goof, and the picture got circulated, and someone said it was happening all over the country, and it's not happening.
Was it Trevor that was telling everybody that it was a legit
Trevor. Thing? No, stop believing everything you see.
Or hear on the radio in morning 6 to 10.
Right.
Anyway, so glitter balls have been debunked right now thanks to Gittle Snopes.
No, thanks to my phone spying on me. That's what it is. Thank you, phone.
Now,
please tell me the secret's making $1 million.
Now, Trevor, so you got to watch the special. You heard all the calls. Was there anything really revealing, like groundbreaking for that case at all?
When he agreed to do the tapes, what it was is that I think he just wanted someone to talk to, so he was using it as more like a ruse,
right? Just
because he was in isolation and he needs physical, like, conversation or physical. He just needs to talk to someone. He constantly needs to be talking to somebody. So, like, they thought if they let this guy in to write a book or have these tapes that they were going to get something out of him.
Right.
And for months, the guy was going there and he was getting nothing. And so he came up with the idea of, like, well, Ted, you know these cases actually better than anybody then, because you've been put on trial and you've researched and you're denying against it. You know, if it was you, like, or what's your profile of the person who did it or the events that happened? And then he goes in and talks about every one of these girls, how the person would think, and he would talk in the third person about each of these crimes. And it's kind of like the OJ book, If I Did It.
Right.
You know, this is how I would have done it. That's he went into too much detail. It's like, clearly this person would have grabbed her by the hair and then slit her throat.
Does it come off like a confessional, or does it come off more like like being braggadocious?
No, he was really smart. About the way he did it. It comes off as kind of
pretty smart people.
It comes off. Well, that's the funny thing with him, with his grades and his schooling and everything. He was always mediocre or average. He was never above and beyond, and that's what he wanted. But the only way that he could be special, I guess, was by killing, over 100 girls.
The conversation that he's having on these tapes, is it like he's bragging and like flaunting what he did, or is he just confessing he needed somebody to confess to that he was doing all of this?
No, he didn't need to confess. He wasn't bragging about it. The guy basically said, I'm not getting anything here and it's not working out. So maybe I can write a story about this. And when he gave him another avenue to talk about murders and stuff like that, he perked up a little bit, and like it was more or less like listening to a documentary on the killers from some expert rather than like the actual killer. Huh. He doesn't admit to it, but he was just like, clearly this person walked into the room, assessed the situation, and noticed that behind him someone could come any minute, and he would think this and he would think that. So he's not really bragging about it. He's saying it very matter-of-factly, but still.
So it's worth somebody sitting down. It's not that boring.
I don't have the attention span. I barely have the attention span to do this show, and I sat down for 4 hours and did it.
Something to look forward there on Netflix. Also going on Netflix, Giddles and I saw Polar, which is the adaptation of the graphic novel from Dark Horse Comics. And I have heard about this last year, like the beginning of last year or something, that they were going to do this. And I think it just kind of snuck up on everybody, where all of a sudden, boom, Polar, right on the front page of Netflix.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, I had saw like the brief trailer for it, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." And then one of my friends saw it and posted on Facebook, like, "Yo, that movie was fucked up." And then my other friend saw it and was like, "Yo, this movie is fucked up. You should watch it." And I was like, "All right." So then I watched it last night, and yeah, it's pretty fucked up, but it's interesting. Like, I enjoyed it while I was watching it, and I had fun, but I don't know if it was a good movie.
That's what I've been feeling too. If you look at the critic stuff, they all hated it. They say this is the worst thing ever made. They don't.
It's definitely not the worst thing ever made.
But you got to give it a little time, since we're only within the first week of it being put out there. The audience score, I think, definitely will come around. It's a feel of several different movies, or at least movie styles, if you will.
Yeah.
But again, it's based off a graphic novel, so they're doing the adaptation where, some of the things don't seem very realistic at all, but that's part of the fun. I think it's an entertaining experience watching. Well,
here's the thing. I mean, like, this movie was like very similar in my mind to Sin City, where like where they were recreating the graphic novel as the movie. Like, whereas like some other things you see and you're like, okay, that's like kind of like an adaptation. Like, no, they were going for straight comic book visions, like the dialogue, like the colors, like that's what they were going for. Like the scene where, and this quick spoiler here, like,
hold
it's
on.
Not really gonna
spoilers, everybody. If you haven't seen
spoilers,
skip ahead to the ending of the show now. If you have seen it, then please continue to join us. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, this isn't really a major spoiler, but to emphasize the point I was making, the scene where they're interrogating the really big fat guy in the chair.
Oh, yeah.
When they're trying to find Duncan, and they shoot him like a couple times, and like he, they think he dies, then he's like, oh, I'm not dead. And then like they just shoot every bullet in the world
for about
at him.
30 seconds. It just
for about like 30 seconds. And it's such like,
and it's a side view. You're seeing them point the gun, and the guy's just, the body's contorting on the lazy boy, and blood is just splurting out everywhere while they just open fire with automatic guns.
Yeah, and like that scene was extraordinarily like graphic novel-y. Like I was watching that and I was picturing the panels in my head, and I've never read this book. So I could understand why people might not like it, because it's very graphic, it's very like over the top gratuitous. And it is like you have to like that kind of style of something. You have to like that kind of style of graphic novel. Like there's very much John Wick elements in it.
There's John Wick elements.
Like he almost looks like John Wick. There's a part where there's a dog briefly. Like
that's what I texted you that night. I'm like, this movie's horrible, and I just said Rusty and a crying face.
Yeah.
It's very John Wick.
I thought Rusty was gonna make it longer.
It's very John Wick if John Wick was done in a Tarantino universe.
Yeah, and very Tarantino universe.
There's fun, gratuitous, exaggerated sex scene and nudity in there. That sex scene was ridiculous, but to the point where it started getting funny.
Like it was just over the top.
Then the whole there's like a twist into the movie that I don't want to give that away. But
definitely don't give that away. But like
Matt
I knew
Lucas
that
is great in this movie as playing the Bond villain style character.
Oh, he was so annoying. Like he was so over the top. Like he was perfect for it.
But
like,
a villain like that should be so campy and cartoony and over the top.
But like even Like even like the close-up shots of him with like the constant like lotion, like that was a shot out of like a panel though of a graphic novel. You know what I mean? Like just that like the way it looked and the way it oozed through the bottle and through his fingers. Like
it was like a Fat Bastard and Dr. Evil were the same person.
Yeah, but like also like I don't know. He was just a really disgusting human being.
He had that big purple wine stain on the side of his face, like Gorbachev.
Yeah. So I mean, I found it was like very entertaining and very fun, but I just don't know if it was like a good movie, and that's where I'm at.
I don't know if it was a good movie. I definitely did like the movie, and I will say, it's a 2-hour movie, and I guarantee you will not be bored watching it because there's always stuff going on.
It's completely action-packed the whole time.
I found it to be a very entertaining experience watching the movie. I do not.
It's a very good popcorn movie. Like if you want to sit down and eat popcorn and watch a movie, it's perfect.
If I went to a movie theater, like there was no way this would ever be released in a movie theater. But if I went to a movie theater to watch this, I would walk out and say, I don't feel like I wasted my money. I don't feel I was ripped off.
Definitely not. Like I've definitely paid money for worse things.
There's
what I mean? Like
there's all this weird shit. Like because each chapter was a different type of genre. There was a loner portion of the movie. There is the spy/assassin hotel scene, which was great. I thought that one was pretty good.
Yeah,
because I've never seen somebody just lay down on the floor to do what he did.
It made sense too. Like, when he did it,
I'm like, why doesn't other movies do this?
It was so smart.
It was.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Like, when he was,
then there was
the guy to the wall,
befriending the young lady that lives in the cabin next to him. So if it had almost like a When Harry Met Sally kind of vibe with that.
There was no When Harry Met Sally vibe.
It was,
and then whatsoever, dude.
Then there was the gratuitous sex scene. Then there was the all-out
gratuitous sex scenes.
The all-out vengeance scene for the people who were trying to kill him during the sex scene. That was great.
That was great.
And then the way the story ended was, I was happy with that ending, even though it was really fucked up. I was happy with that ending.
But here's the thing: we already said spoilers. I mean, are we going to get more of these movies?
Well, that's what I was just going to lead into. It's like, I hope they left the door open. Like, I don't know the graphic novel series that well. I only researched it when I found out it was adapted from it. I hope it does leave it open, because the way that ended now and for what that person was looking to do, which sets off the next story. I was just like, oh, it's going to keep going. And I hope it does, because I really enjoyed the movie. I do recommend everybody. And look, it is a hard. People say hard R, but it's a TVMA rating.
This was like up there. Yeah.
It's pushing the boundary of, they probably were like, we don't have anything that goes past TVMA, so it's still going to have to be a TVMA. It's like when you watch movies from the 70s and 80s that have a PG-13 rating, and you go, holy shit, there's no way that's a PG-13 rating now.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like there's just only a couple of books of it. It doesn't. I think it's like a story that ends, so you might be able to just like blow through it. Looks like there's four volumes of it, but it doesn't say.
The cast for that movie. Some of the people that showed up out of nowhere. The karaoke scene.
Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm like,
is that Richard Dreyfuss?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that can't be Richard. Oh my God, it is Richard Dreyfuss. And
Richard Dreyfuss.
He just shows up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my God, it was kind of nice to see Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, good for him. He's in something.
Vanessa Hudgens is the girl who lives in the cabin next door. She's always pretty good. And then Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, she was good.
He was
great.
I don't know. What is he? Is he German? Is he Swedish? What is he?
I don't know.
But he's pretty badass in this with the gruff beard / mustache. Like, throughout the movie, you can't tell if he was trying to grow the beard or the mustache. Depending which way you looked, is like, which one is he growing?
Well, it says the director here said that he's looking at sequel options. So it looks like they're trying to make sequels.
Well, they left it open perfectly for what she alluded to.
Oh yeah, it totally, it was a really good ending to open a sequel, but also a good ending to just end it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It has kind of an old boyish ending in a way. But if it just keeps going, I think it could be good.
Well, I'd give it 2 thumbs up, if you will. I definitely recommend it. It's up on Netflix now. Giddles does recommend it. Clear 2 hours, and it's one of those things too. It's like, if you can, don't be on your phone, don't be on the laptop or whatever. You'll
miss stuff.
There's so much stuff going on. I think you'll just find it to be a fun movie.
Yeah, just sit and watch it. Just enjoy it for what it is. It starts off action-packed. Johnny Knoxville's in it. Had no idea Johnny Knoxville was in it.
Yeah, he's in
it's ridiculous.
Yes, his role is very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Go watch that movie.
Like I said, I still don't know if overall the plot is good enough for a movie, but it was a good end. You know what it was? This was from Rick and Morty when they watch Ball Fondlers, and you're like, I have no idea what's happening right now. This is great. That's what this is. This is the Ball Fondlers movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of feels to different movies. It feels like it's it could be part of the Tarantino universe, but it's more amplified than when Tarantino. There's more.
I would definitely say more Robert Rodriguez.
There's more blood and violence and gunplay in this movie than there were with Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs combined. There was so much shit going on with this movie.
It was almost like Grindhouse-y to a level of how much blood there was.
And it felt like what's the Jason Statham movies? Crank. Felt like Crank in some aspects.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
There's just a scene of what could be considered torture porn when he's chained in that room for 4 days, which is I'm not gonna lie, I kind of looked away during certain things because I can't handle that stuff pretty well. I got the idea of what was going on just by the audio cues. I didn't really need to see the visual.
The only thing I will say is that, and this is a little spoilery, the best use of a machine gun I've ever seen in a movie.
Was that the warehouse scene? Oh yeah. You know what that is? That's almost Overwatch.
That was insane. I was
the
like,
Overwatch moment.
What happened here? Like, that was so crazy. I knew that it was coming because they showed it earlier. So it's like, what's gonna happen? How is he gonna do it? And he just like, nope, power glove, you're fucked. Like, it was awesome.
And he was doing it like he was playing the piano, where he was moving his fingers around with the lasers.
Watching him dance.
Yeah,
yeah, that was pretty great. And the villain's just watching on his camera like,
oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know, the more I talk about it, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, just like I said, the plot itself was like kind of weak, but overall as a movie, it's fun.
That was not a movie I was looking for an in-depth storyline or character development or whatever. It just slapped it down on the table and said, here are these people, here's what's going to happen, and then it happens. And I found it to be a very fun movie, and I may even go give it a second watch.
Yeah, same here. I might do the same. I might watch it again with someone who hasn't seen it. Just, it's a good reaction
That's
movie.
not a bad idea. Go look out and find...
Just don't watch it with Monty.
No, not at all. All rusty. Watch Polar, the adaptation of the graphic novel on Netflix, currently out right now. With that music, means we need to get out of here and do the plugs. Giddles, what do you have?
Gittlebase on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox Live, and I'm still debating it, but I might do the macaroni and cheese takedown on February 17th. So if I do it, I'll let you guys know, but I'm debating it.
I got a chance to actually play with Trevor and Giddles on Xbox this week for the first time, I think in like 2 months. I hopped on there and we were playing Fortnite, and I just had so many questions because things changed, and I had no idea what was going on.
And trains and automobiles.
We were streaming it on Trevor's Twitch channel, which, by the way, speaking of Trevor's Twitch channel, Trevor, what do you have?
It's at BTG Trevor on Twitter, BTG Rocks on the Xbox Live. Gonna really start cranking up the video games again, whether it is going to be Fortnite, Red Dead, or Giddles has just told me that Overwatch is now only $20, so I might be joining him in that. At Podcast Dummies is every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on Twitch, twitch.tv/Podcast Dummies.
As for me, it's IHeartRadio across the board on social media. Give me a follow if you could, but also give the show a follow. It's Erik Nagel across the board on social media. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you want to leave a message for future episodes of the show, 651-SMITHERS, that's 651-764-8437. With that, we will get out of here. Until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time.
And we'll be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel.
Yeah, we got a lot of emails about that.
Any of them supportive?
Not many. Your target audience is dicks, 18 to 34.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For ways to listen to the show, go to itseriknagel.com. And remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends.
And they can tell 2 friends. And they can tell 2
And those
friends.
2 friends.
And those 2 friends can tell 2 more friends.
Well, you get the idea.